Hello, hello, hello. How's it going? Excuse my douchebaggish outfit today. I got the cap on. I got the cutoff on. Listen, it gets hot under these lights. I also look great in them. Can we be honest here?
Hey, guess what? No one gives a fuck, so go tell it to somebody else.
Blame the people that complimented my biceps in the comments of one of my other videos. Listen, as you can see, my background is kind of dookie balls. So I was like, maybe I should just get a few posters, put them back there, and then I'll be good to go. But I'm not a big fan of posters, but I do love video game cover art. So I went looking for video game cover art posters. And I was like, yo, I have so many cover arts that I love. Why don't I come on here and talk about them? So here we are. Listen. There are a lot. So to keep this list short enough, I have some honorable mentions that I'm just gonna put up on screen. Pause to look at them if you want. If you don't, that's cool too. Now that we got that out of the way, let's just get into it. My 15 favorite cover art in no particular order. We're gonna start with a very good one. I randomized this list. Shadow of the Colossus on PS2. Now look, there may be a little nostalgia involved in this. When I was a kid, my dad would only let me play Shadow of the Colossus so often. So sometimes I would just sit there and look at the cover. But that does not take away from the fact that this is an amazing cover, whether you have memories with it or not. The it's literally the like small guy, big monster meme. Just looking at that cover and looking at the back, because the back also looks great. And seeing you are that little guy on the cover and you're about to try to take down that massive whatever the fuck it is. And I love like the brownish colorway they went with. I love the logo. I love the perspective of the logo. It does a great job of representing the game. And as a kid seeing that, it was just man, I have a lot of memories with that game. It's one of my favorites of all time, and it's one of my favorite covers of all time. All right, this one's more recent. We're moving on to Persona 3 Reload. Now, I love color. I'm not gonna say the thing again. Okay, fine, I'll say the thing again.
Gentlemen, that was my last one, unfortunately.
Okay, no, one more.
No, I'll play one more, I bet.
All right, bet.
I need more color in my life because my whole wardrobe's black. I'm not even a big fan of blue, but I'm a fan of good art. And Persona 3's cover, it's just beautiful. I like, it's hard for me to explain these things. It's not like I'm an artist. I'm just looking at the thing and I like looking at it, and that's how I know I like it. I think, as you'll kind of see, I like when a cover art is focused on a great piece of art, and color doesn't hurt, and then has less noise or just nothing in the background besides a solid color. I think the art pieces are what makes the cover art great to me for the most part. There's some other ones I'll get to that aren't like that, but I think that's why I really love Persona 3's cover art. All right, we're moving on to Final Fantasy 1's cover art on the NES. Now, I love retro covers. I could put a ton of retro covers on this list. I tried not to. The font, man. The red letters in that font on a black background with the sword and the axe and whatever the hell that globe is in the middle. I haven't even played Final Fantasy 1. I don't need to appreciate the cover art. Look at that. If I do end up getting posters, that will be one of them. Aura in a cover art. Look, I'm a big font guy, okay? Who said that ever in their life? Maybe I'm the only one. When I see a good font, I can't help but stare. And when you have a good font with, the retro feel, I don't know what you call that, but the sword and the axe, they have that retro feel. I don't know what that globe in the middle does for me, but it does something. It reminds me of Lord of the Rings. You know how I feel about Lord of the Rings. Do you? You don't even know me. There's not much to say. Amazing cover art. I love it. Staying in that vein, we'll just go straight to Final Fantasy 12. I haven't played this either. My dad loves the game. I plan to play it at some point in my life, but until then, I can at least appreciate the cover. And look, I'm not an artist. I don't know shit about art. Is that watercolor? Is that what that is? I don't know what it is, but I love it. Another great font choice. And that, what I was saying before about Persona 3, right? How it was an art, like a piece of art with a blank background. If the whole cover is a piece of art, that's basically the same thing to me. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna say I love it because it's great. Cover art is so underrated. I want the game represented in a piece of art. That's the perfect cover art to me. And that's what Final Fantasy 12 does, and it looks amazing. And keeping in that vein again, okay. Every other Final Fantasy cover art, okay. Not every other one, I'm gonna list Final Fantasy VI as an example, but all of those covers that have the white background with the signature art piece or whatever for that Final Fantasy game with that nice font, that's what I'm talking about. It's the piece of art with nothing distracting you, no noise. It's my favorite kind of cover art, and Final Fantasy probably has the highest number of, I mean, it has a high number of games, so fair enough, but every cover art with that art piece and the white background and just the Final Fantasy and that nice font in front of it, those are my favorite cover art. So, in fact, I changed Final Fantasy 16's cover on Steam to look like that. I'll put a picture up. I'm taking way too long. I got 15 of these, so I gotta get moving. We're moving on to a newer one, Alan Wake 2. I really like muted colors in the background with bold colors up front. I like separation and bold colors. I love the logo. I love the color of the logo. I think it represents the game well. Great cover. Listen, bold colors just do something to me. I like Alan Wake 1's cover, but Alan Wake 2's cover is particularly good. It gives off the horror vibes really well, and I'm a big horror guy. Not horror guy, horror guy. I'm not a fan of horrors, nor am I a whore. Which, with this outfit on, maybe you think I am. I'm not. Let's move on. I don't have anything else to say. Now for another one that I'll admit, probably about half of this is nostalgia. You know, I remember going to, I believe it was Walmart with my brother, who's much older than me, and yeah, he, you know, we saw Resistance 3. He knew a lot more about games than I did, and we got it, and we went home to his house, and we played it together on the PS3. What a great memory. You know, there are a lot of games that I feel nostalgia for that I don't sit here and say, oh, that cover art is great. You can see why. Look at the cover. From everything I've said, you can see why I love this cover. It's simple. It has that reddish color in the background with just the skull up front, the alien skull, and the like worn out letters. I love that game. Please, Insomniac. I don't like Spider-Man. I don't like the Spider-Man games, I should say. I was a Spider-Man fan as a kid. That's why me sitting here and saying, I don't like the Spider-Man games. Move on! Move on! Please, just make a Resistance game, please. Please bring it back. I think I saw that they pitched one to Sony and they rejected it, so I'm gonna blame Sony more than Insomniac, but I love Resistance. I hope it comes back. I'm gonna have to revisit the games. I love the cover of the third one. All right, moving on to another newer cover, Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, I want you to look at something. I want you to go to my channel and look at my thumbnails. There's a pattern, I think from memory. I don't even remember what they look like. Okay, I kind of do. There's like separation of like, take my last thumbnail, the Nintendo Direct. There's a separation of each game into thirds, and it like clashes, and then there's me in the middle, right? That's literally what Dragon's Dogma 2 is, okay? First of all, the background images look like art pieces. They look like paintings. You have 3 paintings separated into thirds. You have, I don't know if it's called The Arisen or what. That was my game of the year, by the way, and I don't know this. You have the guy, the cool looking dude up front. I don't know, man. It just does something for me. I like how it looks, man. It looks like an art piece. When I pre-ordered this game, and I would look at that cover, and I would just wait and wait and wait. And yeah, I love when a cover can do that for me. And Dragon's Dogma 2 did it. Okay, moving on. Here's a big one. This is one I've listed for a while as one of my favorites. It's The Evil Within 2. What can I say about this cover? There's not much color, is there? So why do I like it? I like how it's like it's not embroidered, but like embossed. It's like typography. What is that? It's like 3D, I guess. It looks 3D. I like how everything's the same. It's all kind of white with the separation being like shadows. And again, the 3D-ness. Let's call it 3D-ness. And then you have the black on the hand and the gun, which is dark. And then I love the addition of the logo. I would include the logo in the cover because I saw some people take it off. I like the red. I think it gives it a pop. Okay, I like the cover. Moving on. Here's another new one. It's About. What do you notice about the cover? Okay, we get the pattern at this point. I love that art piece. When they announced that cover art, I texted my friend. I was like, dude, looks amazing. I need you to see it because I'm seeing it and it looks amazing. Again, art piece in the middle. Amazing art piece, by the way. With a muted background. Love it. Let's just move on. Another one. Cuphead. I love Cuphead. It's One of my favorite games of all time, and that cover art is beautiful. I love the yellow. The font is amazing. The character they have in the "Don't Deal with the Devil" text, like the character it has, just from the waviness and the font, amazing. And then the actual Cuphead and Mugman, amazing. I love the art style of this game. It's one of my favorite looking games of all time, and they translated that well to the cover. It's so just not much else to say. Moving on. Here's a bit of a cheat, but I don't care. It's my video. Monster Hunter 1 through 3. It's kind of similar to the Shadow of the Colossus cover, but I remember seeing Monster Hunter 3 Try, as I've said before, and seeing that massive monster and seeing the name of the game and knowing I'm gonna go hunt that monster. Just the name alone got me excited, but actually seeing the perspective of that small hunter versus that massive sick looking monster on 3 specifically, just that feeling was amazing as a kid. I wanted to play that game so bad, and eventually I did, and it's one of my favorite series of all time now. But yeah, that is the same on Monster Hunter 1 and 2. It's just monsters with insane aura and a hunter looking up at them. And that's the thing, is like, the monsters are what has the aura in the cover. It's not the hunter, and that's fire. Not to go off on a side tangent, but that's why I didn't really like the whole story in Monster Hunter Wilds, is because they tried to give the hunter aura. You know, they tried to make him some slayer and some sick dude. I don't like that as much as me being some small hunter going up against these massive monsters. I feel like I'm making my own story there, you know? I'm proving that I'm sick. It's not some fucking the guild authorizes you to hunt. I mean, that's just a personal thing. But yeah, that's another reason why I like these covers, is it feels like you're cooked. It feels like you're cooked just looking at that cover. And I love that. Okay, moving on. We're talking about Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. I just have memories with this cover, man. This game is absolutely amazing, and looking at the cover brings back memories for that. But again, that happens with a lot of games, and I don't have them on this list. But this one, I don't know what it is. I think it's just I don't know. After you play it, you remember all these characters. They have such great personalities, such memorable personalities. And I really like the exploration kind of, it's almost like Indiana Jones feeling, you know? I love how the cover feels like you're about to go on an expedition, you know? Moving on, Castle Crashers. Now, I'm gonna count both the old one and the new one, but I'll be honest. The old one is 75% nostalgia, but the new one I really do love because of the color. The color pops, man, especially on an OLED. I love looking at it. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of color. There's nostalgia. It just looks good, man. Moving on. Twilight Princess. Again, nostalgia, but this is a great cover at the same time. I love the separation. I love the art. I love the background, the patterns in the background on the sides, and the logo, and the darkness, and I just love the color. Yeah. That's what every one of these has been chopped up to. I just love the cover. But no, I remember this game, you know, I believe I played it on the GameCube. My dad just put it on and gave me the controller, and I just remember it very well. I remember the cover very well, and I love it, okay? All right, that's gonna be it for this video. It was more of a simple one, but it was something that just popped up in my mind, and I decided to make it on the spot. So I hope you got something out of it. I do want to know, if anyone's watching, what your favorite video game covers are. Lord Balaha, I know you're here, my brother. Is it Balaha or Balahaj? You're gonna have to tell me, dude. But yeah, let me know your favorite covers in the comments, because I actually am interested. This isn't some way of getting you to comment. Listen, that's gonna do nothing for me, all right? I just want the discussion. It sounds suspicious now that I'm making this such a big deal. Listen, just comment your favorite covers. You know mine, all right? All right, I'm just gonna get out of here because I don't even know what's going on anymore. Expect a lot more sleeveless videos. Expect a lot more hatted videos. No, I'm not a douchebag from LA. Goodbye.